Bearcat Bounce Podcast. Ooh, back at it again. Monday, 1 weekend, Jared Calhoun era. Oh, sounds good saying it. 1 weekend, Monday. Monday following a press conference. Can we still say I'm fired up? I'm going to say it because I am. Said so much in such a little time. Hit on everything needed to hit on. Excitement abound Monday. Also a Monday where, football is in the middle of spring practice right now. We finally have a little bit of an insight into that because our fearless leader is currently not in the state, barely in the country, way on the west. So we have a fill-in who is a superstar in the making himself Monday. So without further ado, Aaron Smith, Ryan Roy, and Keegan Nickerson. Gentlemen, how are we?
Hello.
Hello. That was very nice. Keegan, welcome in.
What was that quick name drop of me there? What was that, man?
You know what, man? Streets are talking, so you gotta hit the streets back with a little bit of. So Keegan, great article out there today.
Thank you.
BearcatJournal.com. Yes, this is a website that we all work for, and it is a one that has a great article on it currently. Go read it if you have not yet. So we're going to dive into more about that. But as far as things go, man, how you been? Long time since you've been on the old BBP.
Dude, Brent, I've had the best day ever. So
yes,
it's my wife's spring break. She's a teacher, and we've been thinking about where we can go on a day trip.
Okay.
And literally last night I looked at the weather and I was like, you know what? The only sunny day we're going to have is Monday. It's supposed to rain like the entire week. So we headed on over to old Bloomy, old B-Town.
Wow. Okay.
Got some fat Dans.
Okay.
Walked around the campus for like an hour, saw an old professor, and then picked up Blooming Thai and brought it home. And now she's eating Blooming Thai. So it was an awesome day. It was a Chamber of Commerce day. 2.5 hours.
Okay. A Chamber of Commerce day. Was the professor hyped to see you? Sample game?
He was.
Little KOK. Did we hit up sports? Tell me a little bit more.
I was basically on my knees asking her to let me just get one beer at upstairs. Just one. And she was like, no, we already spent too much money. And I was like, okay, fine. Oh. And then when we left, I was like, next time we come, we're going to upstairs.
It's a Monday. Dollar Wells. Could have got a little quick mixy. Would have been fine. Expensive. At a college campus? I mean, unless as inflation hit up old Kirkwood. I mean, golly, I can only imagine.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well.
But, yeah, it was awesome.
Blooming Thai and Fat Dan's. Wow. Crazy thing there. Neither of those were there when I was there. So I guess new beginnings for you. I'm old, yes. No, please. I'm young, just like you and my boy Ryan Royer down there, my buddy. I'm young like you guys. We not old like Aaron, but you know what? We're out here, man. We are out here. But yeah, that's awesome. Bloomington's an amazing town. Has it started to blow up yet? I said it was going to multiply 10 times after the national championship in football. It's going to be an incredible city here in a bit.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's always been awesome. It's one of the best college towns I've ever been to, as unbiased as I can possibly say. Okay. So it's the best.
Gosh, I left my mark on that city. God, I miss that city. Unbelievable town. Aaron, how are we, man?
I'm good. I travel onto a college campus literally every day to get groceries or whatever I need to do in this little town. But out of respect, because it's a Cincinnati podcast, I don't mention it because,
the Ohio Bobcats?
Cincinnati. So just thought I'd throw that out there. Also, I went to another school too, but I don't mention it very often either. No. But, just saying.
Okay, well, how are we?
Grouch for us.
Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with that, but just get a beer when I want to get a beer. But
I had 2 rosé bubbles ciders at Fat Dan's, the Rheingeist. I'm getting crazy now. 6.2% ABV. And
Turned
also
down for what?
from the random crap I've heard in the first 15 minutes of this podcast whenever I come on here, traveling to where I went to school is one of the few normal things I've ever heard.
We'll just add in Meat Church, add in Threw It on the Smoker, add in hit up a the Blackstone. That's another one that we do.
You're just doing stock Chad Brendel vamping.
Well, and Aaron does Aaron does the put it on the Blackstone, and then Royer will tell us that he went to a Columbus Blue Jackets game or something along those lines here in a bit. So we're hitting on all cylinders, truly. And then we'll get back to me, and no one will say, Brent, how are we? And it's just like I sit here waiting for someone to like repeat it back to me, and no one ever does, which is fine. So, Aaron, that's great. Oh,
we were all thinking it, Slim Cat. We were all thinking it.
I mean hey, the Ryan Guy's bubbles hits nice. I'll give them that much.
Very, very good.
But this one actually gives back to the athletes.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have Cincy Light at IU, Aaron.
You know what the funny thing is?
Sounds like you were on the wrong campus, Keegan.
My buddies who are married with kids, they've like gone like on like kind of like a day trip thing, Keegan, where it's like, what can we do real quick? And they hit up Great Wolf Lodge. I guess the lifeguards there are like always looking weird, like really strange.
That place is a petri dish.
And so anyway, they take their kids there, and they each, that is where they all these Indianapolis kids get introduced to Cincy Light. So they all like to send a picture and say, Brent, try Cincy Light. So we aren't in the Cincy Light studios, but yes, Cincy Light, shouts to them. Great.
So you were going to say that's where they got introduced to Ebola.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
They had a brain-eating amoeba in their body.
So,
I mean, is that truly like where that stuff goes down? I mean, these guys
indoor pools, man. It's you're 50-50 shot on
breeding ground.
Something. Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, I think that they have each come out on the good side. No crazy things to talk about. There we go. But you know what is what it is. Ryan, how are we?
I'm doing good. Somehow you guessed correctly. I was at a Blue Jackets game on Sunday.
Wow.
Watched my boys give up a 3-0 lead in the final seconds to lose in a shootout.
Oh.
So heartbreaking loss, 2 heartbreaking losses in a row. So I think we should really dive in onto the Blue Jackets here and turn this into a Blue Jackets podcast, because I don't think there's much love for them right now. That's probably why they're dropping all these games, Brent. They need a little bit of your bets laid down on the line. Maybe that get some of those goals across the line for them. I don't know.
Almighty. Let's talk about laying it on the line, brother. Golly. Tough one out there on a Saturday afternoon. Speaking about blowing it, pause, but blowing it big time. Those Duke Blue Devils, man. We're talking about that, but you know what? If you're a Duke fan and you were like listening to the game on the radio, first off, your radio broadcasters immediately they said, "Oh, he hit it," and then they said that should be a technical. So just like throwing it in there. But anyway, if you were listening on the radio and you somehow live in Cincinnati, you probably dinged up your car pretty bad right after that deep 3 went in for the UConn Huskies to somehow come back. What a freaking game. Golly, that was amazing. Anyway, you should probably head over to Danco Transmission and Auto Care. Danco Joe will hook you up. Danco Joe will say, you know what? Brady Mullins was the guy that I wanted to come to UC. A little bit of feelers were out there early for him. Nothing. He was a guy that was committed to Indiana. Keegan will tell you about that.
Was he?
Yeah. Under Woodson. And then he committed. And now he's UConn Huskies drilling that big time shot. But head over to Danco Transmission and bring up Jared Calhoun. Screw the rest. Bring up Jared Calhoun, and he'll get you 10% off your next fixing, $10 off your next oil change over at Danco Transmission Auto Care. Danco Joe, we love you, man. But first off, guys, well, let's just get some broad, because obviously we're going to talk college basketball first, because we got a new coach and Jared Calhoun. I tell you what, that introductory press conference, I had to re-listen to it a few times because, boy, it gets the blood pumping. It's a thrilling one. But let's just get broad NCAA tournament thoughts, because we're going to be talking about those here in a year. I truly do believe that. But guys, golly, was that one of the better college basketball games you've simply seen? Or, I mean, it was an unbelievable one with that UConn Duke. Whew, what a close, Keith.
It was pretty good. But before we start, Brent, you just said it. How are we? Come on, Brent.
Guys, I am doing spectacular. Thank you for asking. I had myself a whale of a weekend, and that's about it. Then here we are. Welcome in us Palm Sunday, Monday. This is Easter week. So shouts to Good Friday. I hope you've been keeping your Lenten promise, because he is always watching. But anyway, yes, thank you, Keegan. I'm doing spectacular. Thank you for asking. But anyway, God, what a game.
Yeah, that was awesome. Admittedly, I didn't watch the entire thing, but I kept on seeing that, Caden Boozer just was a complete mismatch the entire game, and I'm kind of following it on Twitter and getting updates. And I just keep seeing UConn's cut it to 10, and UConn's cut it to 7. It's a 1-score game. And then I flip it on the phone, and I get a John Rossi notification before it actually happened of just like OMFG. And then I see that kid, the most Indiana basketball player you could picture. Just a white kid who drains threes.
Oh, yeah.
That's Indiana basketball. And I think at one point they started 1 for 18 from 3.
Yep.
And then just the balls to get that pass as a freshman. And he still had a few seconds. He could have dished it out to somebody else. But to make that shot, it's the moment of the tournament so far. And a little bit of Team of Destiny vibes there out in stores. Little Team of Destiny vibes. So I don't know how to feel about that, but I'm interested.
The moment of the tournament came after the shot when Danny Hurley put his forehead on the referee's forehead.
Yeah.
As an
He's
intimidation with time still on the clock, after he got lucky as hell that he didn't get a technical for guys running onto the floor. And then he goes and just taunts the ref. I've never seen anything like that in my entire life that hasn't resulted in any type of penalty.
And
I don't know how he got away with it. He's a known psychopath.
Yeah.
And he didn't get in trouble for any of it.
Yeah, no.
I don't understand.
It's insane because, well, first off, I want to clean up a little thing. Brandon Mullins, his last official visit was to Indiana.
Thank you for that really important update.
I gotta clean it up because someone out there might be saying Brent's out here just spitting nonsense. But anyway, yeah, that happened. But yeah, it was one of those games where you got a lot riding on the Duke side for some reason because golly, at this point, UConn just really they grind my gears. I don't know why, but they do. And so then all of a sudden I'm rooting for Duke. Like what? And you got a lot of other things monetarily riding with Duke as well. And then it all just flushed down the toilet pretty quickly with 10 seconds left. You can get a backcourt violation. You also can't get a 5-second call in the backcourt. So, just hold on to the ball. Hold on to the ball, get fouled, go to the free throw line. Then they have to go the length of the court with about 3 or 4 seconds left. They have to throw up a prayer then. If you make both free throws, you're up 4. The game's over. It just – so many tough things. But, anyways, that is what it is. Ryan, any quick thoughts on UConn? And then let's just get quick national championship predictions. And then because we'll move on because next Monday, obviously, it'll be National Championship Monday. And I'll have to text Chad and say, hey, Chad, my third cousin went to Arizona. And we're going to need to take Monday off. I'm going to be going to the game.
Yeah, that shot was crazy. That the whole scene of events to get it to that point was just bonkers. And for that to go in, Hurley, the ref, his parents in the stands, all like the the in the stands clips, live reactions. That was pretty cool to see. Because there wasn't a ton of like super big upsets this year as in past years, so there wasn't a ton of crazy moments, and that kind of made up for a lot of that downtime we've had in this tournament. But I didn't watch the game. Like I said, I'm a diehard
Blue Jacking it up, yeah.
We're Blue Jacking around down in Nationwide Arena.
Hey man, you said it. I didn't, brother. Yes. It was just one of those where, golly, what a moment. I mean, that's going to be shown over and over and over again, especially if UConn's able to go on and win it. Speaking on going on and winning it, Keegan, prediction for the national championship game and who you got winning?
I picked Michigan coming into the tournament, and I'm sticking with them. I think the quality of their bigs mixed with like the depth that they have, I think it's going to be Michigan. Is Michigan playing Arizona and Illinois is playing UConn?
Yep.
Yeah, I think Michigan's going to win that game. Yaxel Lundeberg is he's ridiculous.
24 years old out there.
Yeah, and he's really, really freaking good. So I'm going to stick with my original pick. And I mean, this is like the worst bracket I've ever had in my life in terms of accuracy, but I think I can maybe come in like 5th place in my close friend group league, only if I pick the correct champion. So I'm really kind of banking my ball knower skills on Michigan winning.
Proud of you.
Well,
Aaron?
I'd believe Keegan if he'd actually registered with the Bearcat Journal picks, but he was too cool for school and didn't actually do that. He
sent it like the day before it started.
An Indiana University bracket group somewhere that has Michigan, whatever. I don't believe it, not for a second. That said, if you want to go check me, I do have Arizona going all the way in our bracket group on Bearcat Journal, but. I also think it's going to end up being. I had UConn and Arizona. Those were the only 2 I got right. But I had Florida going to the championship. I think UConn's going to get it because I just don't like Illinois. And so far, going with the teams that I haven't liked has worked out more than not.
Okay. The Hurley dynasty, little 3 champs in 4 years. Ryan, who you got?
I'm sticking with Arizona. I think it's going to be Arizona, UConn in the championship. I think Arizona is just the talent. It's been there all year for them. I think they're going to deliver. So we know we watched them multiple. We had an eye on them versus Utah State, and the 2 times. One time watching them play against us. Just I can't see them slowing down. I think they're going to go all the way through the championship.
Man, me and you, 2 peas in a pod, and that is one lucky pod because I'm rolling with Arizona as well. The look on John Shire's face just says it all, man. This disbelief and misfortune, and the disbelief and misfortune will continue for all Arizona fans as they take home a championship. But a few days later, Tommy Lloyd heads to North Carolina as the new head coach of the Tar Heels. Would be just a crazy state of affairs either way. Keegan, I just think it is a glare from the light above you. Some might also say that is the Lord shining down upon you, which is okay.
I'm anointed.
Yeah. Easter week, Monday. Good Friday, Palm Sunday, Monday. Okay. Lenten promise. No meat on Fridays. Fish fries and alcohol. So anyway, talking more about it is now circling back to Cincinnati. Obviously, Keegan, we were able to dive in. It was great timing. We normally don't get the thrill of having breaking news on a Monday and then being able to talk about it. I was shaking in my bones that it was going to be like announced like Tuesday morning or Monday, like late night as the BBP.
Yeah.
I was going to be like, well, everyone else is going to talk about it on the network, and then all of a sudden we're going to BBP and it's going to be old news by then. Anyway, it worked perfectly for us. You did hop on the instant reaction show, and I do want to give you shouts. You have led one coaching hot board, and your top pick on the very first volume of the hot board is right. I mean,
way to go.
It was, I had to go through a really grueling process of figuring out who was going to get that first spot. It was really, really hard. But yeah, it was basically a layup, and it was really funny the day of the presser talking to John Cunningham, because he kind of dropped a little AD lingo, and he's like, once that plane landed and I got to shake his hand, that's when I knew. He's like, that's when I could breathe, because like they aren't convinced it's going to happen until the plane lands. Maybe a little bit of a too good to be true scenario with just the connections and how it all worked out. But I think that they got a really, really good fit in Jared Calhoun.
I don't want to pull back too far, but I do want to kind of talk about it, because I'm sure you talked about it somewhere, but just the crazy swing of what could have been and what ended up happening when, if somehow the team is able to figure out a final 2 minutes and beat UCF, and all of a sudden it's a close thing. Maybe they give Arizona a good game, and all of a sudden we're waiting until Sunday, and who knows? It was one of those crazy scenarios. But then, of course, it was a tough exit against UCF, leading to pretty quickly you could figure out what was going to happen next, and then kind of play it out. And what if Calhoun was able to lead Utah State to a victory against Arizona? What if then he was still coaching? All these different things just kind of aligned perfectly. Take me through kind of what was going on in your life as you saw, like, oh wait, oh UCF, oh never mind, we lost, and then all of a sudden these domino effects lead all the way to Calhoun and his introductory press conference last Wednesday.
Yeah, it really felt like the last, what was it, month and a half of the season? Maybe a full 2 months of the season. It felt like it was literally like every day something changed. Like there was momentum shifting in either direction every day based off the results of a game. And then it kind of like they go down to TCU and lose before the Big 12 tournament, and you're thinking, okay, like based on how it's all shaking out, they're probably going to need to beat Arizona in the Big 12 tournament in order to get a bid. And then all of the like other bubble teams lost that same day. So nothing really changed.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, if they beat UCF, like they have a legitimate chance. Then if they had beat UCF, if I had to put my money on it, I would probably say they would have gotten in because of how the entire bubble fleshed out.
Right.
But yeah, the interesting thing, and I had like buddies asking me, like, if he beats Arizona, do you think that he'll do you think he'll still come? I don't know, like the complete ins and outs of that. I still think he would have.
Yeah.
But it's also like, does North Carolina give him a shout if he does that? Like,
Right.
is he all of a sudden a candidate for a huge job? But yeah, it was every day something was changing. It just felt like throughout. It felt like every day something was changing outside of like after they hired Wes. And then, if I'm being completely honest, a lot of it was, okay, just we're waiting for it to break that they're going to hire Calhoun, because it was that easy of a decision for John Cunningham to make. So yeah, that it was a ride. I'm glad it's over, and now I can actually go back to taking naps and not be afraid that I'm going to miss something massive.
Right. Which is crazy, because you just like immediately every national media member, you said like, oh, Cincinnati's open, look for Jared Calhoun to take it over there. And it's like, oh, Utah State just lost. I expect to hear Jared Calhoun linked with Cincinnati soon. And then Norlander drops it pretty quickly on that Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
Was a foregone conclusion after then. And so what were those next 48 hours for you? Obviously, you hop on here, you get an article ready, then all of a sudden the press conference. First off, and I'd love to get Ryan, and I don't know where Aaron went, but would love to kind of hear your guys' thoughts on kind of the press conference, and then of course what the vibes were afterwards, because it seemed like it was one of those where it wasn't he went up there with a script and kind of just read. He kind of flashed his paper at one point. It looked like it was just like bullet points, just a couple bullet points, and he just went out there, hit the high notes that he needed to. Got me crying at one point, literal tears, when he started talking about former players, and shouts to Mick Cronin, man. Golly, shouts to Mick Cronin as well. But next 48 hours, obviously he lands. It's pretty quick from there. Then the press conference was awesome. You guys did a great job. Obviously there on site asking questions, but kind of your thoughts on the vibe around there, and obviously Huggins was in attendance and different things of that sort. But it was a pretty special day for the city.
Yeah, that Wednesday was the first time that I realized, like, okay, this was actually a really good hire. Because part of it, like, it almost didn't feel like that good of a hire to me because of how easy it was. Like, part of me was like, Josh Schertz, I feel like, a lot of wins. I feel like he's more wanted throughout the entire country. But like when you start to actually see the reaction from people who have been watching Cincinnati basketball way longer than me, and it's people that are like, hey, he's a really good offensive coach. He's sustained success at multiple programs. He was a coach at UC. He knows like the lineage of it. You start to really understand why it was such a good fit and why it was such a good hire. But it was kind of nerve-wracking, if I'm being completely honest, because I'd never been in that kind of a press conference situation. Like I didn't get to cover that at Indiana. I got here right after Satterfield was hired. So it was my first time to actually get a run at it. But it was a pretty exhilarating experience because I felt like I was watching like history in the making. Like I felt like I was watching a new era of Cincinnati basketball actually begin. And like exactly what you said, like he just had bullet points. I don't think he went up there thinking that he had to ace the speech. He was just himself. And that's exactly what everybody wanted to see. And that's why it worked. But he definitely did say all the right things in terms of connecting back with the former players, connecting back with Huggins, like shouting out Keyshawn Tillery was awesome. I thought that was a big message. And he said everything right. I also loved his maybe my favorite part was his tidbit about going to Fairmont State, taking the head coaching job. And it's something that I'd never even thought about of like, yeah, I loved it because no one cared about my program. So I could literally do whatever I wanted. And like I could try these stupid things, try these different things and see if it works and kind of mold my program. And like when I wrote that article, it was kind of finding out, diving deeper into that. So yeah, it was awesome.
Aaron, I believe you and Chad had a little nightcap about it, but you know what? He did everything needed. 13,176. Got the people going a little bit. Kind of just he was hitting the right things. And like you said, Keegan, it just seems like it was kind of a bit more refreshing. Like he has a true legit plan. He just wasn't kind of going up there with some sort of facade or just saying, hey, I'm excited, let's get this thing going. He was legitimately locked in on what it takes to bring this program back to where it needs to be. But Aaron, thoughts a week removed from the announcement and obviously the press conference.
Well, honestly, I haven't thought about it 1 second after that day, but
okay.
I still feel the same way. I mean, for me, it was about humility. I thought that it was very humble. None of it seemed scripted. None of it seemed any of that like rinse, wash, repeat. He wasn't pumped up or fired up for the fourth time or whatever. So, you got to appreciate that. And it was just, it felt like it was from the heart. It seemed like he was just straight shooting, and just seemed like a guy that you feel like you could trust to do what he's saying he's going to do. And at the end of the day, a guy who had already checked all the boxes for the most part, just continues to do so. He's continuing to make new boxes and go ahead and check them as he continues on down the path. So I don't know what more you would want out of somebody at this point outside of also being good at defense. But if you're going to be good at one or the other, I'll take offense all day.
Ryan, you got any thoughts? I mean, you went on a soliloquy last week just with spitting straight facts, FAX, man. It was awesome. But anything more? As the press conference was awesome. Obviously, it kind of was hitting on a lot of the things that we mentioned on the pod last week about having defensive coordinators, putting a lot of faith in his assistants, wanting to not just accumulate talent, going after targets in the portal and whatnot that actually fit what he wants to do. I mean, it just seems like he's hitting everything out the park. For you Joey Weimer fans out there, but thoughts, Ryan, as yet again, boy, oh boy, I'm excited about Jared Calhoun.
No, I can echo everything you guys are saying. Just the excitement, I feel like it's just going to continue to keep building, as we get into the roster building, seeing what he can do, with a lot more money than he's ever had and money he doesn't have to invest himself. And you could just tell, like, everyone, it's just a comfortable excitement. Like he seems comfortable to be here. I feel like everyone's, as a fan, it's a comforting hire because of where being a graduate, from here, he understands it, and you could tell he understands it. And like you guys all said, just having a plan and like providing details, like substantiating his vision instead of kind of, just coach speaking. I really like that. And you could tell there's a passion. I mean, he's an alumni, so he gets it and he knows how much it means. And I think that just makes things a lot more comforting for us as fans, and we could put a lot more faith in him. And that just means the expectations are going to be high. But I think he's the kind of guy for the job because he's delivered and he's improved. He's not stagnant. He hasn't been stagnant once in his career. He takes a step up and he gets better. And he was peaking at that mid-major level. And I think everything just finally aligned. It really does feel like we got our guy. Like, let's go do this thing. Let's get back on the map. Let's get back in the tournament. Let's start creeping towards that, 10 to 15 rank during the season and, see what we can do, man. So I'm super pumped to have him. I can't wait for the season to come, man. It's going to be a while, but it's going to be a good one next year.
It will be. Keegan, you take any thoughts or what's your takeaways from seeing Tillery and Jalen Haynes in the crowd there to take in the press conference?
I mean, it makes me think if there's players that are going to come back, they would be the 1 and 2 most likely, because like if you're interested in playing for, which it's not a guarantee or anything, but
right.
I feel like if you're interested in playing for a new coach, you would at least go to the press conference, or at least like meet with him. And I think that I think he said he just met with basically Jalen and Keyshawn, like met with those two guys is the wording that he used. Didn't say I met with the entire team. It was kind of a John Calipari. I met with the team.
Yeah.
There is no team. But yeah, like which I've said it all along, if I was the new coach, one of my first moves would be to try to get Keyshawn Tillery to stay, just because I think he has the highest ceiling in terms of the impact he can have on the roster and to influence winning, which is another one of the big things that he said that I really liked, kind of similar to what Mick always said. Like, we're not accumulating talent, we're accumulating winners. And there were some times under Wes where I felt like he was just trying to accumulate talent, which I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, if you can just get a ton of really good players, it would work. It often just didn't fit. Yeah.
Question on that. Were there times you think he wasn't doing that? So I don't think there was a time where he wasn't doing exactly that. I think the entire time he was here, he was doing just that.
Accumulating talent?
Yes.
Just get the best available player?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Keyshawn Tillery, I don't know if he was just trying to go after crazy talent with Keyshawn Tillery. That was more of
he saw a number in front of his name on the rankings.
Well, he was a late bloomer. He was a 4-star for a long time, like a low 4-star. And he obviously knew about him for a long time because he went to his high school.
Right.
So, but I agree with what you're saying. In large part, he just accumulated talent. And he kind of mentioned that we're Cincinnati, we need to be going after the best recruits. And a lot of people like that until those recruits get here, and then they don't really pan out, like a Tyler Betsy and a Shauna Baev. But yeah, to get back to it, I loved Keyshawn Tillery being there. I was kind of surprised that he was. I figured if anyone was like going to be there, it'd be Tyler McKinley.
Yeah.
But I think that's huge. If he's able to retain Keyshawn, that's a really, really good start heading into next season.
Yeah. I also kind of like not really direct hit on it, but like other teams that you hear that spend a big dollar amount accumulating talent, kind of like a Kentucky comes to mind, where you put together this $20+ million roster, yet you don't have a point guard after your starting point guard goes down with an injury. It's just like, okay, so what are you doing? You're just getting names, and I don't know. It seems it's refreshing to know that, okay, we have a purpose. We aren't going to take talent just to take talent. We're going to, fill roles needed and whatnot. I love the whole, the fear thing. That's something that everyone loves to hear.
Yeah, that was a good line.
Yes, it
That
was.
was a really good line.
He was dropping the right things at the right time. And another thing that he mentioned was the fact that, he talking about the donors and whatnot, the people that have put forth the money to renovate Fifth Third Arena, to renovate, the locker rooms. And he says everything looks great. And he said, like, those people deserve to be paid back, and like, it's just like, that's just saying the right things. Cause he understands how this fan base is and how dedicated they are and how much they just want that thrill to be back. And, it's a program building thing. And that leads me to your article. Screw it. Let's talk about it. It's making its waves. I don't know how what viral it is on Bearcat right now, but I imagine it's going to be taken off even more. So good job on that article. But
thank you.
Kind of what went into putting, piecing that together, and obviously coming away from it, it seems like it just further validates all the points that we're making right now.
Yeah, it's kind of always been my plan. Whenever UC hired a new coach, I was always going to try to write an article like this of talking to people who have been around them that aren't currently on the staff, that would have things to say about their coaching journeys, who they are as a coach, who they are as a player, a father, a husband, kind of thing. And like initially, I was just going after, and I told you this before we came on, I was just going after like basically the most well-known names that would be able to tell me the most information. Right. So like I emailed South Carolina State to try to talk to Eric Martin. I emailed the Boston Celtics to try to get Joe Mazzola on the phone. I had to shoot my shot. And then
you should have just DM'd Joe Mazzola and been like, listen.
Oh yeah. I figure, yeah. That's yeah. But
you have to DM his jiu-jitsu instructor, because the guy that he hires to come in and choke him out every week, just hire him, DM him, and then you get the
use a back channel. Back channel with his jiu-jitsu instructor.
Exactly.
But I also emailed Josh Eilert, and I was able to get on the phone with Josh Eilert, and he gave me a ton of really great stuff. And then I kind of just asked him, hey, who else should I talk to? And he gave me Mark Richmond's number, who is a Youngstown State assistant. And I get on the phone with him. And I had no idea where this story was going. I didn't know what I was going to get out of it. And then like the first 30 seconds on the phone, he goes, yeah, Jared like slept on my couch for his first 3 months at West Virginia. And I was like, all right, well, this is gold now. Yep. So I talked to him for like 15 minutes. And then he gave me Chris Richardson, head coach at Wheeling D2, and Mike Fewline, the head coach at Mount Union. Richardson was on his staff at Fairmont State for 6 months, and then grew a really great relationship with him. Mike Fewline is just a friend that he's been able to develop a friendship with since they do the same thing. He came to Youngstown State all the time and would kind of shadow practices. And then Richmond was on his staff at Fairmont State. Jared helped him get a Youngstown State spot after Notre Dame College, where he was the head coach, like kind of caved their athletic program, or the entire college shut down, something like that, in Euclid. But yeah, it was a really, really fun article to write. I kind of felt like I was trying to put like every single quote I possibly could because they gave me so much stuff, and I had to leave some stuff out just to make it a better article. I wrote the entire thing, finished it, hated it, and then rewrote the entire thing. First time I've ever done that.
How long did that take? Golly.
I was kind of cooking. Like with articles
Yeah.
like this, when I actually enjoy it, like I woke up at 6 a.m. with a smile on my face, cracked open a Ghost, and went to town. Like I was pumping them out.
Right.
But I think the main thing it taught me is kind of just how he's paid his dues, and like kind of what Aaron touched on, like how humble he is, and like the amount of humility he shows, like sleeping on a couch at West Virginia. Like a dude with a big ego would be like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go get a different job and have an apartment somewhere. And like leaving to go to Fairmont State and sticking it out there. But while he's paying his dues, he's also just crazy successful. Like takes over Fairmont State the year after they win 8 games, takes them to the NCAA tournament, and then takes them to the national championship game in 2017. No one wanted the Youngstown State job. He goes there, wins a Horizon League championship, and renovates the arena, gets new locker rooms. I think he got a new weight room, and he's made like impressions on that program that they're still pretty successful. And like, I think his adaptability is one of the biggest things. I think the best line I heard is like, he was born to be a head coach, but he was born to be a head coach in this specific era of college basketball, because he doesn't complain. If there's new rules that change, he's just going to adapt. Like he was one of the first teams in the Horizon League to actually start paying players.
Yeah.
So, and that really launched his career. And I think like having a coach that's just going to see something that a lot of people would see as a roadblock as an opportunity is a huge plus. Like he's not going to complain about a ton of stuff. He's going to see the positives in it. And yeah, it was a really, really fun read. Those guys had a ton of great stuff to say about him. I also love a guy who has a huge camp of like D2 coaches and D3 coaches. Like that says grind to me. Like you're still willing to go back to Wheeling University and talk to the head coach for 3 hours when you have like 2 days off over Christmas break, even though you're a wildly successful D1 coach. So again, the humility factor, adaptability, and then his wife came up a ton too. So got to write about her as well. But yeah, it was a really, really fun write for me. Yeah,
those D2, D3, just salt of the earth coaches.
Yeah.
People out there. I mean, those are the ones that do put in the time that kind of just, Ben McCollum is the one that's kind of blowing up in everyone's face. And, he, his entire path that he's been on now was in D2 for forever and was just dominating eventually. And now all of a sudden he's getting his name tossed around with every big name out there. And
he beat Calhoun in the national championship. And then did you guys know that when he was at Fairmont State, he played an exhibition against UC in 2015?
Oh.
And he took a lead into the locker room at halftime, 30-29.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's impressive. Okay. Well, that's fun to think about. I was looking for some sort of ties like that, but 2015, you're saying?
2015, apparently Mick talked about it before the game, and he said because he's known Jared for way longer than 2015, and he said when Jared got the job at Fairmont State, he says, when you're good, come and play me. So 2 years in, he's like, okay, we're good now, I'll come and play you. And then he took a lead into the half, and that was the year after SK, Justin Jackson, and Rubles were gone. So it was the big like, oh, who's going to step up? Troy, Gary, like that kind of thing. So it was there's like 2 press conferences about it, and it's interesting to look back on now and see it in that perspective.
That is awesome, actually. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It was
why they played 40.
I mean, it had to be a hell of a second half there. As
Geelong Gwyn, tough shooting night That's what I remember seeing.
71-54 was the final
Common
there.
theme for Geelon Gwyn. Yuck.
Wow, that's a fun fact right there. Yeah, Coriante DeBerry, 13-8. Oh Josh, no, 6-6. Ugh. Anyway, that's awesome. Yeah, I enjoy the article because obviously you hear just so many things that Calhoun talks about, and the way Calhoun talks, it's like listening to an audio book that just no pause, no hesitation in his answers. He's got conviction. He's got that humble attitude, but still like has that little edge to him where it's like, okay, I'm listening to you. Like, and obviously we don't want to give too much love to anyone else, but I will give love to the Legends Unplugged podcast with Terry and Corey Blunt, and they went out there and got obviously an exclusive interview with Calhoun, and boy, you could just tell Corey was like eating up every word that Calhoun was saying, because he would Calhoun would talk, and then Corey would just be like, "Wow," like, "Yep, he has that effect on me as well, Corey." So it was awesome to just see he's kind of hitting home runs left and right, and when you have that slow gradual build, it's kind of like what Ryan Royer was talking about last week. I don't know, go back and listen to last week's BBP. Ryan Royer went on this like diatribe that like rivals all. It was like listening to Eminem during the movie 8 Mile, just rap battle after rap battle, bar after bar. Ryan Royer, fantastic job, my friend. But anyway, he just wins everywhere he goes, and he starts from the bottom and he's able to build it up. And obviously Utah State's a different story, but the fact he's able to sustain what has been built at Utah State, I think he comes into Cincinnati. It's not like Cincinnati was like at the bottom of the Big 12 looking like crap. No, they were, on the bubble this past year. And, I think that is the groundwork to come in and immediately find success. So I'm excited for what he's got. Keegan, great article. And, obviously no one's going to like talk shit about someone if you're writing that article, but you can tell with the quotes and with the intel that you gathered that it's all seems very genuine. And you know what, when you have someone as your best man, when you have someone that invited to your wedding, when this, that, and the other, like Missoula best man with, was Jared Calhoun. And it's just like, those go a little bit further than just saying like, oh yeah, I was on his staff for a couple of years. Great guy. I believe in him. No, he seems like he truly has a mission, and he's setting out to complete the mission. And now that mission is taking Cincinnati to another level. And I loved what he said about, we don't want to just compete for Big 12 championships. We want to not just make the NCAA tournament. We want to advance in the NCAA tournament. We want to go far in the NCAA tournament. It's like, okay, keep talking, my man. Keep talking.
Yeah, I guess I should have probably called Utah State's AD and gotten both sides of the story, gotten someone to talk crap about him.
Man, you go further back, and when you like, and I don't know why I do this still, but I find a little joy out of looking at the Utah State board still, and boy, they have glowing things to say about what is going on at UC, but it is what it is. But like I said, if you just take in all of the intel that you can and all of the awesome content that you can right now, and especially that Legends Unplugged podcast with Corey Blunt, who wore number 44 for the Cincinnati Bearcats, was just spectacular content when he had Jared Calhoun on. So it's awesome. So anything more on Calhoun and whatnot? I imagine we might have a question or two in the riffing section, but
well done, Brent. Well done.
I think right now we should timestamp it. Aaron, are you ready with the timestamps?
You already know, bro.
All right, lock it in.
All right, Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all of your non-food products. Quick Paper services over 150 restaurants with weekly low minimum next day deliveries, providing a wide range of food service products from to-go containers, cups, custom printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all of your janitorial needs. Call Nick at 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
Boom, baby. I love it, Aaron. That was a spectacular read by you.
Way to go.
Supply. Shouts to the boys. You know what? It's time to riff. And well, first off, there's gonna be a lot more talk about roster construction and who's coming in the portal, who's in the portal. The portals. Next Monday's episode is going to be the eve of the transfer portal officially opening. Obviously, this next week's going to be a lot of discussion about I'm hearing blah 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 will enter the transfer portal. I'm hearing blah 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 will enter the transfer portal. There have been some names out of the of thought, former Utah State players who have entered already. You can search on x.com and find those, but there's been nothing distinct. And you got to lock into bearcatjournal.com. They'll have things for you there. Chad will be on top of it, as he always is. Keegan as well, and Aaron. Aaron will be on top of it. He posts that mailbag, every week. He does such a good job. But who else does an awesome job? This guy below me, Ryan Royer. Golly, peas in a pod, brother. Now it's time to riff. Take it away.
What position player do you think Jared Calhoun is going to try to put his most money towards in the portal?
I don't know what position he's going to, but dear sweet Jesus, I hope it's a 2. Give me a shooting guard. We haven't had one in 6 years, 7 years. I don't even know at this point. It's been forever. Give me a shooting guard.
Yeah, give me a 1 or a 2 combo guard, just a literal bucket getter. Like you look at this guy and you think that guy gets freaking buckets, like a Donovan Dent level, Keaton Wagler, Illinois level. Just a guy that can make a big shot in a big situation and can kind of spear up your offense. And then he talks about accumulating winners. Yeah. Maybe accumulate a ton of talent for that one spot, like that bucket getter spot, and then backfill with a bunch of winners, especially if you have $10 million in NIL. Like he had Falslev, that was his guy. And then you had a bunch of rough and tough guys around him.
He added MJ Collins from Vandy this past year, and he led the team in scoring actually. So I think that's where his mindset is getting a guard.
Look at UC over the past 3 years and how they never had a bucket getter, and look at how they barely missed the tournament for like 3 straight seasons. What do you think the common factor was? What change do you think should be made?
That's the thing for me as well. Is like, I think West put all of his eggs in the basket that, Day / Jizzle was going to be that bucket getter player. And then obviously someday everything will come to a front about whatever happened and whatnot. So, that'll be the whole stiff on that one. But yes, someone that is just has scored at a high level, and because obviously the names and the traction and possibly some people that you would want from Utah State kind of seems to fill other certain avenues there. But yeah, if you can get a known scorer, have that be the top guy, especially in a coach that predicates so much of his time on the offensive side, and then obviously wants to bring defense with him too. But got to put the ball in the basket, baby. Ryan, who do you want? You want Mustafa Cham and a big old price tag?
I would love if we could find a way to retain him, man. I think the way he was playing the end of the year I think that just kind of catapults him with momentum into this next season. But I agree with you guys. That's what we all want. And I think a lot of signs point to Calhoun being an aware guy with a plan. And I think he's going to go out there and go get that bucket getter guard. It just aligns with his philosophy and what he tries to do on the offensive side.
Mm-hmm.
But my next question for y'all is, how did that UConn 3 rank in some of your all-time March Madness moments? Are there ones that come out and take the cake from that, or do you feel like that was an unbeatable moment?
There's some people saying it was better than the Shot Heard Around the World with Christian Leitner. So
Wow.
that was hot takes going on the internet today.
Okay. Chris Jenkins, the Villanova shot. Quick story on that one. So I was living with my buddy. Shout out Bob. What up, Bob? And our other friend Dubs was up in his room watching the game with his girlfriend. Shout out Dubs. He ended up marrying her, Katie. Shout out Katie. So Bob and I are watching it in the basement, and we have like a 2-second delay, and like maybe 5 seconds. One of those scenarios. And all of a sudden we hear Dubs go crazy up above us, and we're just like, no. And then, of course, sure enough, it happens just right afterwards, and we're like, "Oh, he just ruined it for us." But you know what? That was an awesome one. That Furman, Virginia game. That was the very first game to start the tournament. One of the first games. It was in that first window a few years ago, where it was. People are saying it's similar to that, where Caden Boozer threw that bad pass. Kihei Clark was the point guard for Virginia. He kind of threw a bad pass as well, and Furman stole it and hit a dagger 3 for the win. Matt Chick, good shout. That Chalmers, that Memphis team. I love that Memphis team. They could just not make free throws, and boy, did they were hounding them about how horrible it was when they they didn't care about free throws because they were just dominating teams all throughout the year. And then all of a sudden, until the tournament comes, they got to hit free throws. They can't. Chalmers hits the 3, heads to overtime, they win. But boy, oh boy, nothing beats that Cincinnati victory against the Florida State Seminoles to send themselves to the Sweet 16. Shouts to Deion Dixon, the steal and the dunk. Yeah, that was a fun one.
I think Leitner's won just because of how perfectly that play was executed, and also the moment of it. I actually think Mullins beats Jenkins because of the improbability of UConn actually winning that game. Like as they're inbounding the ball, Duke probably had a 99% chance to win, and then you make that play, you hit that long of a shot. The Jenkins probably 3 for me. Honorable mentions: UNI Jesperson hitting that half quarter against Texas. Was awesome.
That was awesome.
Ja Morant exploding in the first round.
That was fun.
His last
Triple-double?
season at Murray State, something like that. It was stupid.
It was insane. Yeah.
And then Troy Copaine's little drop against Purdue was sick. So that's what I think of.
Yes. Yeah, that one where he just was like, "Oh."
Yeah, he's sitting there watching it.
It is crazy the more you think about it. Just so many like that UNI. The other one, Farouk Minesh in the corner to take down Kansas. Another UNI victory. How about that? Shouts there. Ali for Farouk Minesh, I believe is his name. Wow. Awesome. I think he might be the new head coach at UNI because that one guy just left and took the Utah State job, Jacobson. Yeah. So that would be cool. But anyway, you just keep going back. That's the best part about March. Like even this year, like High Point, Wisconsin, that was awesome. The whole Nebraska versus Vanderbilt game where Vandy that half court 3 just barely rimmed out. It just, you can go on and on. Ryan, I love talking hoops with you, man. You are a cornucopia of knowledge.
Which one are we forgetting from this? The Kentucky shot.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That was Santa Clara.
Otega Owe. Yeah. That was insane too because they were dead.
Yep.
So.
Yep. It's just the list is endless. And we're forgetting about like 100 other ones. The Ron Hunter, Georgia State, with his, that was awesome. Man, more and more. Yeah. Well, also, that was a pretty thrilling close to the game. St. John's, Kansas. The game-winning layup. It's endless. But Royer, I think we've got a couple more just beautiful games lined up for this Saturday. But what's your favorite?
Man, I mean, ones that I can claim that I've seen, or like I didn't see this one live, but like I immediately saw the aftermath of it. I think this one is the Mullins shot is just unbelievable. Just like you were mentioning, Keegan, the circumstances of a 19-point comeback and the probability just falling off the chart. That was like the equivalent of how we beat Miami of Ohio in 2017 with the pick six. Like that.
No
that,
reason to win that game.
Yes. Obviously the circumstances were a little bit more consequential here.
Yeah, come on. Yager Stadium? That's the
The
epicenter of the
Elite
college football universe. Come on.
Malik
against
Clements,
Malik,
man,
bro.
come on, bro.
Love Malik, man. He's still playing out in Canada. He's a dog.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, this one is I was just in disbelief. It was an awesome moment. And then just the fireworks that ensue afterwards. Just of course it's a Hurley team doing it. So you got that just going crazy afterwards. So
unbelievable.
That's probably my favorite in recent memory.
Jack Golke last year.
Yes.
Last year against Kentucky, just lighting it up.
Flamethrower.
He was.
Dude, we touched on it before, but like he should have gotten a technical for headbutting that ref, and he would not have had any argument otherwise. Like if it had happened,
he still would have argued.
No, he would have argued.
He would have told the ref, "I'm the best fucking coach on the planet, and I get this call." What do you mean?
But
same way he did several months ago.
No one would have been able to defend it, is what I'm saying. Like there's no actual defense. Like running onto the court in that situation, I can defend that. Like that's fine.
Yeah,
headbutting the ref.
I agree.
Headbutting the ref.
I think he thought it was like over. Oh, I thought it was like
Final Four.
Right. Yeah. You lose because of that. I mean,
the referee was asked about it today and doesn't even recall the situation.
It doesn't surprise me, honestly.
Oh,
he's just like, I'm looking at Dan Hurley. Something stupid's gonna happen.
Yeah,
he just walked away.
I mean, the fact that it was just such shock in that moment. I feel like everyone just kind of blacked out at that point. It was just like, what just happened? Yeah. There was, I mean, the improbability. Yeah. Shouts again, Matt Chick. Yeah, Jalen Suggs, that little runner bank in. I hated it. I was all in on UConn. That was a great monetary tournament for myself. It was just underdogs UConn underdogs UCLA every single time, and it was just boom, boom, boom. Yeah, gosh, I love March, man. We sleep in May, man. We sleep in May.
Oh yeah, Brent, you want to do the tip, touch, and topic? Get us going.
Yeah. Should we?
This is against Keegan's religion.
Ryan, where are you? Oh yeah. Okay. Keegan, you here? You here with us? Other way. It's hard. Other way. We're not going to go away from each other. All right. Anyway. You know what?
Ryan, I was going on the wrong end there, Brent.
Ryan, you were. It was. Yeah. Jesus. That's what Ryan said one night. But anyway, so we were talking about it, and the fact that Chad is not in attendance today because he's kind of on spring break. He's taking a little spring break, and you were like, "Brother, spring break is my favorite. I love spring break." I said, "Spring break is awesome." I was like, Ryan, where did you used to go for spring break? Like what was your hot spot for spring break? And did you have like a fun BBP story that you can tell for spring break time? You're like, bro, let's save this for the BBP. And I said, yeah, let's just save it for the BBP. Keegan, favorite spring break spot that you've been, and maybe a fun story you can gather from it. And Aaron, whenever you come back on screen, same thing to you.
Favorite spring break?
Yeah. Destination and
I only went on one, and I had to borrow money from my roommate to go. That should surprise nobody. But I went to Panama City Beach, and I got kicked out of the same club twice for fake ID and underage. Yeah, that was. I had a fake ID, and that got taken. I don't know. I went in the exit at one point trying to get back in to this foam party, and they're like, "No, kid, what are you doing?" I ended up in a costume shop. I have no idea. Way after hours, just on the strip, walking back to the hotel that same night. Have no idea. This some guy.
Did you try on the costume?
No, I asked the guy who was standing outside of a costume shop at this little strip area if he had beer, and he said yes. In hindsight, I probably should not have gone into the costume shop, but just had some Heinekens with this guy. Anyway, yeah, it was a weird trip. It was a fun trip, but it was the only one I ever went on. Probably for the best.
Shouts to PCB. How about that, Ryan?
I've been down to PCB. Went there one time, Destin one time, and then Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Those were my. It was always funny because like, it was always during the middle of spring football, and Fickle would always say, like, if you guys want to go on spring break, you have to come up and tell me where you're going and why you think it's a good idea. And so it'd be me and my dumbass fucking friends. We'd go up there and be like, Coach, we just think it's gonna be a great team bonding thing to go down to Fort Lauderdale. All us guys, we're gonna go down there together and just have a good team bonding, good brotherhood moments. He's like, all right, just know that Monday when you get back, it's gonna hit like a ton of bricks. So you guys better not be throwing up on the. I'm like, Coach, I only practice for a couple minutes a day. I'm gonna be all right. But then a story. I don't know. All the stories coming to my mind are not tellable.
Okay, nothing wrong there. Nothing wrong there.
Oh,
okay.
Gosh.
Again, what you got? Were you always in baseball? Could never really travel type thing?
I was always in a baseball tournament spring break. That was I think that was usually the first tournament of the year. We did do, like, my junior year of high school, we did a trip to Tennessee to play a few games with my high school team. And it was like 22 dudes in this big cabin in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
So that got very chaotic, and we got yelled at for making the basement too messy. And I also, in the last game in Tennessee, I was in right field because I was a junior and the senior catcher was better than me, but I could hit a little bit. And there was a hard ground ball hits me right field. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting this guy at first. And I run up to field the ball. Ball goes straight underneath my glove all the way to the fence. And then I think I sat a few games after that to start the season. So that was pretty brutal. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? That's a spring break to remember right there.
Yeah.
Shouts to that.
What about you, Brent? What about your spring breaks?
Yeah, thank you. I never get asked that. You know what? Daytona Beach and then San Diego. Oh, I had back-to-back San Diego trips that will go down forever. I'm in a fantasy football league with all the San Diego buddies just because of two unbelievable spring breaks out there. It's phenomenal. But Daytona Beach, I was there when we beat Missouri. That was a whale of a night in the NCAA tournament. I was in San Diego then when we beat First Texas. Then we beat Florida State. Two amazing times taken in that. But you know what? Parties. We were out there for the he shot for when he was at IU. Little baseline jumper. That was exciting. I think they beat VCU in that game. That was in the middle of a party. We were going crazy. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, San Diego, and shouts to the Beachcomber down there in Mission Beach. Ooh, baby.
You ever had a Duke's, the fast food chain out there?
No.
Chad said he had Duke's. Chad said he had Duke's today, and it was the best fast food chain burger he's ever had in his life.
Dude,
Because I asked him if he had gotten in and out, and he said Kelsey hasn't even mentioned it, and I was taken aback by that news. I can't even believe that.
I
Duke's
concur.
fast.
I'm also taken aback by that news. That's what I'm concurring with.
You know what, Aaron? Tired of it.
Old-fashioned
I'm
onion burgers. You get
I'm agreeing with you.
You were being facetious.
No, I'm genuinely agreeing with you. I'm
taken aback.
No, I agree.
I love you. I'm sorry.
Hey, I could go for the milkshake of the month. I'm not a milkshake guy, but little cinnamon toast crunch milkshake. Wow. I wonder if Chad hopped on that today.
Of course it is.
You're not wrong.
Oh, dude, Tonk. I tell you what, we stayed at. Shouts my boy Drew Turner. It's a Norv Turner's son. We stayed at his place, and it was a oh man,
Pick up that name you dropped.
Was a whale.
Yeah,
it was a whale of a trip. I'll tell you that much. Shouts Drew, love you. He was up there working at Wisconsin. Now he's in South Carolina now. So shouts to Drew and all the crew, the Foleys, and I could just go on and on. Fun crew. But anyway, that's spring break. Shouts if you're on spring break now, and we'll go ahead and timestamp this, and we'll do a small, quick one question about football, and then hop in the mailbag.
All right. Well, Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant company for all of your non-food products. Quick Paper services over 150 restaurants with weekly low minimum next-day deliveries, providing a wide range of food service products from to-go containers, cups, custom-printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all of your janitorial needs. So call Nick at 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
Boom, baby. Hey, Ryan, what do you say we pepper just one or two questions to Keegan about spring practice? Because that's currently going on. I don't know if you knew, but there's kind of a lot of other things that are currently going on in the landscape of Cincinnati Bearcat sports. Baseball teams, hot. Tough couple losses last week, but it is what it is. We'll move on from that. But also, there was a new coach, Jared Calhoun. We talked about him for like an hour. Let's talk about football. My one question, then Ryan and Aaron, you guys just give one sparkling question to Keegan as well. I guess obviously the main question would be, how are the quarterbacks looking? Because that's going to be the frame of interest that most fans would want to just kind of get a quick glimpse into. And then I guess, it seems like your dues of the day have consistently been either running backs or JV Gibson, I've seen has gotten some shine, especially today, I believe. And so if you had to take away the whole quarterback mixing in new look, is it kind of like JC French is giving some Sorsby vibes on a different level? Is Samaj going to be pushing for a QB competition? Is what are the looks offensively that you've been able to dig in?
Yeah, I think JC French is a very different player than Sorsby, and like when you watch Sorsby play, it was very clear that he was going to try to push the ball down the field with like a lot of aggressiveness. Like he was going to try to fit the ball into some tight windows, was probably going to turn it over. I think JC French is maybe a more conservative guy. He looks very, very accurate on the underneath stuff, over the middle. He looks very, very poised. He has a quick release. Haven't seen him stretch the field too much. And when he does, the accuracy's been a little bit all over the place, especially the first few practices. But Sat told us at the pro day, their last practice before that on Friday, he went like 15 for 15, I think, throwing the ball. So he's obviously progressing, and I'm not going to judge the kid too much and getting into an entirely new system, playing at one school before for, I think it was 3 or 4 years, 3 years. So the French has been good. Brooks Goodman has kind of made an impression on me. especially in comparison to where Samaj was as a freshman to where Zeb Kinsey was as a freshman. This kid, his processing abilities are there. The arm release is a little funky, but it's quick. And he stretches the ball down the field. He's very accurate, and he's not afraid to make those kind of maybe a little bit of dangerous throws. But I think in terms of a true freshman quarterback that could actually be the future of the program, he would have the highest percentage opportunity out of all of the true freshman quarterback they brought in so far. So that was a good get by Pete Thomas, kind of grabbing that 3-star. I ultimately think this team is going to run the absolute crap out of the ball. Their offensive line is really, really good. They've been playing really, really good. Zion Johnson has probably, from just what I've seen in person, probably has 8 or 9 60-yard touchdowns of just like hitting a hole, one cut, he's gone. Like, you're not touching him. His whole thing, and Chad has probably touched on this a ton, his whole thing last year, whenever he got meaningful snaps, he was injured. So he wasn't able to play a whole ton. At the end of the year, when they were actually giving him snaps to save his red shirt, Jabron Payne looks fast. He has kind of a similar like haircut to Zion Johnson. And there's actually a few times where I've been like, is that Zion? No, that's Jabron. He's actually way faster than I thought he was going to be. And then Cole Tab looks great. But I think that they're going to run the crap out of the ball. JV Gibson hasn't really practiced enough for me to be able to make a distinction on him yet, although he looks like he's going to want the ball down the field a lot, which great. Love to have those guys. If I had to say who's probably the best route runner on the team, Isaiah Johnson is getting separation very, very easily. And like, it's kind of crazy how easily he's getting separation on the line of scrimmage, just outrunning guys down the field. So there's my 5-6 point synopsis from what's stuck out to me the most on the offense.
Nice.
Yep.
How's the defensive scheme starting to implement with Woody's new defense? Are the guys picking up on it pretty well?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit, I mean, you could probably speak to it more, but it just seems simpler. Like, you just have another guy rushing the passer, and the DB's responsibilities are probably a little bit more simple. I love that Brian Sims is kind of playing that dog position. I know Thomas Johnson, I don't know if he's practicing yet, but Brian Sims is getting a lot of reps there. I think he fits that really, really well. And then Antoine Peak is playing that cat, kind of the hybrid nickel linebacker DB spot, which I think he also fits. But the guy that's taking the most advantage is Marquez Parker. I mean, he was my dude of the day last practice that we were able to cover. And I mean, Chad pointed it out, and I started watching, and he was just getting pressures all over the place. He talked to us after. He said he's in basically the best shape of his life. He's slimmed down. So now he's getting to that point where it's like the perfect combination of speed and strength that he's been able to have. So I really like the scheme. The offense has kind of been slow to get to the punch. When you think about all the practices that we've been able to go to, I think they're starting to adjust, but the increased pressure is definitely an adjustment for the offense. And you're starting to see the turnovers go up. There's still a lot of dropped interceptions. I don't know what it is about this team under the Satterfield regime, but they're just balls in the hands and the chest and dropping them. But yeah, the scheme's exciting. And I think that they're taking well to it, especially because there aren't 100 different coverage schemes that they have to try to kind of, whatever it is, recuperate.
But does that mean the secondary is not looking good, or are they where they're supposed to be and just dropping?
No, I mean the secondary looks good. I mean, MJ Cannon's huge. He doesn't do he doesn't do well when he goes up against Isaiah Johnson and one-on-ones, which I wouldn't expect him to, because it's kind of the worst matchup you can possibly have. Daniel James has looked very good. He's playing very physical. Jacob Finley is lanky. He's looked also very, very good. And like, if you were going to ask me who I thought was doing better the pass game on the offense or defense, I would say defense so far. Just kind of keeping a cap on it downfield. So yeah, I think the defensive backfield's been good, and haven't been able to watch a ton of the safeties. I feel like it's usually just the corners making the plays and playing tight coverage. So like if there's a corner that I'm going to watch out for this year, it's going to be Daniel James, kind of capitalizing on the decent amount of playing time he got last year.
Well, you know what? I think Dave is going to be diving full steam into football coverage with you on Wednesday, Keegan. So that's going to be a more football centric. We've got some football questions in the mailbag, so we're going to roll right into that. But I just thought we'd kind of start to slowly integrate more football talk, because obviously we're in the midst of spring practice, and new defensive coordinator, a bunch of new faces, bunch of new names. So it's good to get a little bit of a peel back of the curtain before we dive into the football portion of the mailbag. And that's when my good friend Aaron Smith takes over, and I'm going to pass it on down to Aaron Smith now.
All right. Well, let's get going, as we got plenty in there, but we'll start, as we always do, in the football portion of the mailbag. And this one starts off. Keegan, pick one newcomer in the wide receiver and running back room that you think have the best chance to be impact skill guys in 2026 based on what you've seen in spring ball thus far.
Wide receiver newcomer, from what I've seen this far, I'm not going to say JV Gibson, but I do think he'd probably be the best. The route running that I've seen from Lorenzo Fenner is crazy. Like, he's
Really?
so sharp, so silky smooth. He made a move on a DB in a one-on-one, and it was just a quick slant. But he got like 6 yards of separation just immediately right off the snap. So I think he's a guy that a lot of people are going to look forward to watching. Also, JV Gibson. I have to pick one. It's Lorenzo Fenner. Running back room. Zylan Perry. I don't know if he's been practicing, but Jabron Payne has been getting, I think, the majority of the snaps with Zion Johnson, and he's looked explosive, and he has that kind of strength that you want a running back to have that Zion might not have. So I would go with Lorenzo Fenner and Jabron Payne.
And Zion's really good.
Yeah.
Shouts to Zion.
If I had to guess who would be 1B or 1A with Zion week one, it would be Zylan Perry. But from what I've seen in practice, Jabron Payne has looked very, very good.
So I guess the main question is, like, obviously, is Fenner, does his game translate to stepping up a couple of levels, obviously, to the Big 12? And then, of course, does Payne look healthy? Obviously, he bounced back after an injury a couple years ago and slowly integrating fully back into things. So both of those accounts sound like the answers are yes and yes. So that's good news.
All right. Do any of our tight ends have similar pass catching skills and overall athleticism to Ryan's cousin, Joe Royer? I'm assuming Grover has the inside track to start, but he doesn't have the natural athleticism that Royer provided from what I've seen of him. So curious if any of the younger guys are standing out in spring ball and might make an impact in replacing Royer this year. I guess it doesn't matter if Sat decides not to involve the tight end in the offense again in 2026.
He just had to add that little
stabbing
point. I know.
I'm reading it as
I'm talking to them. I'm not talking to you.
He's not wrong.
No, not at all. Yeah, Grover definitely doesn't have the athleticism as you saw in the Kansas game last year. But he's definitely the 1-1. He was probably a better blocker than Royer was last season. So he's got the edge there. The first one I'm thinking of is Damari Witherspoon, just based off of like what I heard after he committed. I know he was going through an injury last season, so he's just now getting healthy and starting to get his first action. But the most of all the younger guys that I think is like Royer is Jalen Williams, the kid from Bloomington that came after Xavier Anderson flip to West Virginia. I think Jalen Williams is probably going to be one of the better receiving tight ends in a couple years. I don't think he's going to play a whole ton as a true freshman. So then after that, I think it would be Kamari Smith, the kid from Wayne.
He was really good last year.
He was really good last year in the spring game and fall practice. You just knew that he wasn't going to get like reps because he had one of the best tight ends in the country above him. Now he's in a position where maybe you want a few more weapons on the field and he can go out there and be a big body. Maybe he splits some time with Grover. But tight end is definitely a room where they are not lacking for depth at all, because I think that they have 3 guys definitely who they would be 100% comfortable with putting out there, and Grover, Zahersky, and Kamari Smith. And then based off what I've seen in spring ball, Jalen Williams looks like he belongs, and how he's competing over the middle and running routes and making those catches.
And also shouts to Ryan Royer, was hanging out with his cousin this past weekend, so had to give the quick shout there.
Are you actually related to him?
Not one bit.
Okay, I don't know.
Just related through the blood, sweat, and tears of Cincinnati Bearcats football.
There we go, baby.
Blood of
now, I am related to Kamari Smith, but that's my cousin. But he's just a redshirt freshman, right?
Yeah. I think
he was true freshman last year. I thought.
Yeah, he was, but
I don't think he was on the field enough to lose that redshirt status.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be his.
He's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah. All right. I saw O'Brien came up in a couple spring reports, and several articles think he's a dark horse to be our starter at quarterback this year. How has O'Brien looked versus French at practice, in your opinion? What odds do you put on him winning the job? Emory Jones will be a finalist for the Heisman this year. Keegan Nicholson, Savant Talent Evaluator, Associate GM for Duke Tobin, and Chipotle Addict.
Wow.
I'm just reading them.
So I don't know what articles you're reading that have him as a dark horse to be a starter, because they're not coming from me. I did say that he had a good day. Like, he threw the ball very, very well the last practice that we went to. He had, I think it was multiple deep balls that were perfectly dropped in the bucket. If there's going to be a starter this year, I'm putting a lot of money that it's JC French. The next one in line would be Samaj Jones. I think O'Brien's going to play a decent amount because he's going to run a lot. Like, he has that in his bag. And based off what we've seen, he can also throw it a little bit. So that's just an extra element to the playbook that you can kind of use. I would put the odds at very long for O'Brien to be the starter this year, just because if you read the tea leaves, JC French was probably brought in to be the guy, but Samaj is still here. So he was probably told that he at least has a chance to compete for the job. I don't think Samaj would be here if he didn't think that he could compete for the job and win the job. So I think it's right. I think it would be down to JC French or Samaj Jones. And Liam O'Brien is kind of here to be that Swiss Army knife backup QB, not completely rolling it out, but it would really, really, really shock me.
Are they kind of splitting reps with the ones, or are they doing pods like they've done in the past? Or are they doing all over the place? I think
it's completely random. I think it's like pods, like what you said.
Yeah.
All right. With Nate Woody installing his 3-4, who's been getting reps at the stand-up edge rusher linebacker spot so far this spring?
Brian Sims has been getting the lion's share. I would expect Thomas Johnson to be in that spot as well. He has been out of practice since the start of spring. So I would expect Sims and Thomas Johnson to be battling for that.
That is a generic NPC name if I've ever heard one.
Thomas Johnson.
Do you, and then you said a slim down Marquez Parker. Do you think that he's going to be able to fit the role of, a big time pass rusher on the opposite side?
Yeah. Yeah, he's looked very, very, very good. And I think he'll probably, should I say it?
You can say it.
Sure, I'll say it now. I think he leads the team in sacks
Nice.
in 2026.
Yeah, Nico was talking him up, putting
Yeah.
in the work, looking good. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, you heard it here. Big sack Kez from Keegan Nicholson.
Dark horse Heisman candidate, Marcos Parker.
Oh, that happens. I like our odds.
Since Keegan is replacing Chad, which players 3 are the most crucial to develops in Mark? What is going on with your English, bro? Since Keegan's replacing Chad, which 3 players are the most crucial to develop in order for this team to have a double-digit win season?
I mean, it all starts at the quarterback. So JC French or Smiles Jones, like they have to be really, really good. What I will say is they obviously invested much more in the defense than they have in the past few years. So that's where I'll bring up Marquez Parker and Brian Sims and Thomas Johnson of guys who need to get after the passer. So I'll go JC French 1, Marcos Parker 2, and then as we've seen over the past 3 seasons, the cornerback play has not been up to par. So Daniel James would be the corner that I would need to see a ton of development from in order to say that they're going to win 10 games. Because if you can kind of not necessarily be completely locked down, but just be really, really effective on one side of the ball and then have a really good pass rush, that does a lot, as you saw in 2021.
Hey, Ryan, with this scheme defensively, how important is like what position would you say is the singular most important position on a defense in this scheme? Would it be the safety, like one of the safeties? Would it be having a lockdown corner? Would it be that stand-up edge rusher?
I think it's your strong side outside linebacker.
Okay.
Because you have your walked up guy to the boundary. Because there's just so much space out there. You're asked to have like deep coverage, like wide coverage to the field. There's a lot of space. You're playing in space. You're block defeating tight ends. At the same time, you have to guard, sometimes a slot receiver, sometimes a tight end, and then run defeat at the same time. So it was like this kind of like our sniper position when we played. Like you're just, the plays are all over the field for you. So you have a really good player. He's going to make a lot of plays for you, and he's going to have a lot of impact. But then my second, it's the boundary edge rusher, boundary corner is huge in college football. So both of those can't go undiscussed.
Love it.
All right. Well, that ends the football portion of the mailbag, and we will move on to the basketball portion of the mailbag.
Fired up.
Who is confirmed on the non-con schedule next year? I know Louisville and Dayton, but do we also have Clemson and Georgia, or were those one-year deals we had last year?
I think you can add Xavier to that list. I think
that's
he'll
fair.
be on the schedule in the non-con next year.
I think you can keep Miami off that list.
I think Clemson and Georgia were one-offs, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought they were too. I thought that's why they did the. If they did play them, it would have to be at another neutral site. Thank you. I can't see them coming up here.
These are usually decided over the summer, like who the non-con is that they're going to play.
Yeah.
Here's Chad in the comments. Georgia was a one-off. Clemson at Heritage Bank next year. Okay.
There you go.
So Clemson at Heritage Bank.
Okay. Perfect.
Give me Utah State.
Implement that rule. That rule would be sick. If a coach leaves, they have to go to the school they left and play a road game.
Did you also say, awesome. And then if you
don't even do it Don't even do it at Utah State. Do it at the Utah Jazz Arena.
Yeah, I mean,
And then I also saw another person was like, if you are upset in the NCAA tournament, you have to play the team that beat you at their home court. Which I guess.
Yeah, that would be fun. But
I like that too.
Seeing Will Wade walk into NC State next year, are you kidding me? That would be sick.
I don't think he'd be allowed to go in. God, that scenario is nuts. That is nuts.
Oh gosh.
Strong ass offer, he took it, man.
Since Mamadou Ndiaye was signed to a 2-year contract last year, do you know if he has been present on campus or present at any of the player workouts since head coach Jared Calhoun took over the program?
I do not know. I would say that he wasn't, but I can't officially confirm that. See if Chad types in.
Well, I would have thought we'd hear something if something like that was happening. I don't know that anything right now is confirmed on.
Yeah, there's still
nothing
fleshing out the assistants. Like he's got a few that he has to hire. So, I mean, wouldn't he just be in the firing? Like when they fire West, don't they have to fire the assistants too and then pay them buyouts?
You saw Dre got a job at Clemson today. It was announced that he's going to be an assistant at Clemson today.
Yeah, Chad says
Morgan.
Typically an out if the coach leaves. So yeah, if a coach retains an old coach that's on the roster, I'm pretty sure that's by his own volition and not because he's obligated to by the university. That's why Corey's contract being with the athletic department was different, and that's why he's staying. Like Mamadou Ndiaye's contract was not with the athletic department. And yes, Ndiaye will have to be paid a buyout.
I like how Chad's at like dinner time in San Diego and he's sitting here doing this.
He's addicted to this stuff. He can't get enough of it.
He wants to come on screen.
Yeah, he does. We're not gonna let him.
Come on in, Chad, buddy.
All right, boys. Since Chad isn't here, let's get down to business. Would you guys stop working for him and guarantee a Bearcats Final Four run and a national championship?
Yes.
No, absolutely not.
1,000,000%. I mean, like technically, if you work for someone, that means that they like pay you. So then I would just say, hey, I'll still do the pod. Just don't pay me. I want to make sure we have a Final Four run in a national championship.
I financially need this. No, I could not. I don't care. I would not have quit for this.
Yeah, I'm having the time of my life covering really mediocre teams, so I'm fine.
Ryan and I are the only ones wanting a Final Four run in a national championship, man.
That lives forever. You can always find another job.
Round of 68 lives forever.
I feel like Brent lost more money on that Duke game than I make in a year. So
domino effect, Aaron. Domino.
Does Calhoun get the Bearcats to dance in year one? Should that be the expectation of this fan base? P.S. 11 new coaches did it this past year.
I'm saying yes. I just
Killer V back at it again.
I just think that it's a scenario where like he is coming in with the expectation to do that. And I think this day and age, if you have implemented, you have the financial backing and you have the ability to instantly run things. I think like I said earlier, it's not like he's going into a team that is just like horrible. Like a program that's horrible. Like the students, the fans were still coming to the games. Like it was sure they were booing and different things were happening and whatnot, but the support was still there. And I believe that what he's been able to do in just 1 week on the job, the support's going to keep being there and it's only going to strengthen. So I just think, yes, I mean, he was able to take Utah State to the tournament in his first year there. I think that's going to, and sure, Utah State was rolling, going to tournaments a lot, but I think he's able to come in here and do it in year one. Yes,
I agree.
Here's what I'll say. I think that he does, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to have like this awesome season. Like it should not have been as difficult as it was the past 2 years to get to the point where you're on the bubble. Like they lost some games that they just should not have lost.
Beat Eastern Michigan, you're probably in the tournament.
Beat Eastern Michigan, beat West Virginia when you're up 15. You're in the tournament. Don't give up a 32-3 start against Clemson and Greenville and then lose by 2 points.
Yeah.
So I don't think, I'm not saying it's not difficult. I just don't think it takes the kind of season that a lot of people might think it takes to make the tournament. And based off of what he was able to do with $2.5 million and $800,000 at Utah State over 2 years, I don't see a reason why he wouldn't be able to build at least a roster that can win enough games in the Big 12 to get to the NCAA tournament. So I think he's going to. I don't think that the fan base should riot if he doesn't, because of there's nuance to every situation, especially adjusting to the toughest conference in college basketball. But I think my prediction will be that he does make it.
Without seeing a roster, I'm not going to say whether they can get to the dance or not. I have no clue, no idea. That said, I do not think that should be the expectation of the fan base. You've seen how hard the Big 12 can be. Every night is a grind. I think that we're all going to be elated if and when he makes the tournament. I don't think that you can ever expect somebody any team in the Big 12. I don't care if Bill Self retires tomorrow and someone takes over Kansas. The expectation should be that Kansas should be in the tournament immediately. This conference is wild.
I disagree. I think it's okay to have that be your expectation. I mean, that's what we've been known. Yes, it's hard, but it's not like, I mean, you've got like SMU, sure they lost to Man of Ohio. I mean, they were in the playing game. It's just like it's yes, Big 12.
The ACC was weak this year.
I don't care, man.
If the expectation for the basketball program is to not make the tournament in year one, then give the money to the football team.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
very fair.
That goes against everything you just said, though. You said, well, the fans should
I said
if they don't make the tournament, which means that is not the expectation. So now you're doubling. You can't have it both ways, Keegan.
No, but I think that he will make it. And I do think, I said the expectation should be that he would, but I said if he doesn't, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world.
Which means that's not the expectation.
But we're talking about whether he's going to make it or not and what the expectation is. That's two different conversations. The expectation should be that you make it every year or give the money to the football team. If you're a basketball school, you need to make it every year.
Correct.
Well, we will agree to disagree. I will give him a 1 year leeway to learn. We don't even know who his defensive coaching. We don't even know his coaching staff.
11
first-year coaches made the tournament.
That doesn't mean shit, and you know it. How many first-year coaches were in the Big 12 that made the tournament?
Ben McCollum made the Elite
Were there
Eight.
in the Big 12? How many first-year coaches were there in the Big 12?
Go on.
I'm asking you.
How many were there?
What was it? 1?
Okay.
Utah.
Ben McCollum took a 9 seed to the Elite 8.
Utah and West Virginia. Those were the two first-year coaches in the Big 12.
Again,
if you're saying that we are on the level of Utah and West Virginia, sure they can.
Until I see this roster, if he's bringing a whole bunch of Utah State dudes, I don't know that we are that much better than Utah.
Wow. Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yes. Expectation of the fan base, get to the tournament. Yes, I agree.
Which player from last year's team would make the best coach in future years?
Past year's team, huh?
I think they call Derbyshire Captain America.
Oh, okay.
So
I like
that
that.
would make me think Grant
Good
Derbyshire.
answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any of the guys who actually logged minutes would make good coaches.
I honestly, Baba wouldn't surprise me.
Too many texts.
Dan Hurley is a great coach.
Yeah, I could see. I could
Tillery?
see Keith Tillery. But
Yeah.
Tillery being a coach down the line. It just seems like he's got that grit and that fire to him. But yeah, I mean,
honestly, Jalen Haynes. Jalen Haynes just go be an assistant. Big man assistant.
Jordy over in the Euro League somewhere.
Yeah.
And in a few decades, Mustafa Cham will just be exactly what Njai is, and have a buddy that follows him around from school to school as well. Anyway, next question.
That ends the basketball portion of the mailbag. And now we get to the banks, as we will hold the baseball questions until the Diamond Bearcats podcast on Thursday.
Yes.
But what is your go-to hangover remedy?
Ooh.
Cold shower, electrolytes, some sweating.
Too fast.
Bottomless
Then
mimosas.
a coffee, and then start the train back rolling again.
Choo choo. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Kind of in that order as well. A lot of water. Electrolytes. Yeah, a good brunch. More sleep, and bottomless mimosas.
Greasy breakfast for sure. But
I
now I have to watch these little kids running around, so I can't really get the train going again.
I haven't been hungover since Lubbock 2025 Lubbock 2024 when a Mr. Anthony Pike, the first time I met him.
You just went on a guy's trip to the whiskey trail.
The boy been.
Oh, I wasn't hungover. I wasn't hungover.
Wrong.
So I was. Here's the story.
Is his real name truly Anthony?
Tony Pike. Anthony.
Yeah, I know. Is his real name Anthony?
It's usually what Tony is. That's what their full name is.
Cool.
So the whiskey trail. I get there to this place. It's called Whiskey Thief in Kentucky. This tiny little distillery. Okay. All their stuff's like uncut or whatever it is. I don't know the whiskey terms.
Anthony Steve. Good job.
And I'm going to these like sampling barrels, and I'm like down in these sampling glasses, and I get like 3 in. I'm like, what are we doing? It's 10 a.m. I haven't eaten yet. I'm seeing stars right now.
Let's go.
So I've got to like relax. I finished the other 2 samplers, and then we go have some food. We get some whiskey, bring it back to the Airbnb, and I'm just like, I'm doing a little whiskey and cokes, like some of the best whiskey and cokes ever, because I'm not a whiskey guy. And I'm like not really counting, and I probably got to my 4th one. Halfway through it, they all decide they want to get in the hot tub. So we get in the hot tub, and that
what kind of guy's trip is this?
that dehydrated the crap out of me.
Yeah.
So I go and sit down, and I'm looking at my phone, and my phone numbers are just going like this on my clock, like vibrating or like they're blurry and buffering. And I'm like, I gotta stop. So I pushed it away. But the last time I was hungover was in Lubbock in 2004 because of Tony Pike. And I basically just wallowed in self-pity until 2 p.m. when I felt better and I had Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a remedy.
Well, because Anthony Stephen Pike, when he was the quarterback for Cincinnati, rocking number 15 out there, was pretty awesome time. So good for you and Anthony throwing him back in Lubbock. It's a story that rules off stories. The Reading faithful, if you will.
Got his jersey upstairs.
Bearcats finest. There we go. Shouts to the man. But Aaron, that's a good question. Keegan, Did you know hot tubs it amplifies the effects of alcohol, thins your
I did
blood.
not know that until right then.
Thickens your blood. Sorry, it gets things revving, baby. So yeah, you were
All kinds
were-
of things.
you were rocking, you were rolling. All right, Aaron, what you got?
Huh. Reds were 3-12 in extra innings last year and 29-31 in run games. They win a one run. That is a terrible phrase. One run game and an extra inning game over the weekend. Over under 92 wins. P.S. Reds were 83-79 last year.
Under
92. What are we doing under? That is a crazy line.
I'm going. I think they're gonna go between 88. Maybe 90 if they really have a good season.
Ooh.
I think
88,
Gino. I think Gino gets them like 5 or 6 more wins, and he already got them one extra one on Sunday. So I'll go 88, 89.
A healthy Hunter Green, we're hitting over 92, but
that also plays a factor.
You're missing your top 2 starters currently.
Ladola, yeah. If everyone was fully healthy, boy oh boy, Reds would win a pennant.
But my Yankees are on right now, so they're 3-0.
Yankees.
They're going for a 4th win in a row in Seattle.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome for taking
a lot of wins.
Taking 2 or 3 from the Red Sox.
I know. We appreciate you.
All right. What is Chad's worst take? I'm going to answer first.
Josh Reed, 1,000 points.
Yeah,
well,
that's the low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit.
But I think his worst take is that I have the worst takes. That's the one I'm putting out there.
Hey, not a bad take, Aaron. Not a bad take.
Think of one bad Chad.
First good take of the show.
Because I just love that guy.
Yeah, Chad can do no wrong, man. He is full of great takes, and
want to bet?
Those are the only takes. But no, by far the answer is Josh Reed. I mean, like, boy, oh boy, talk about the fluff I was feeling. Thinking, oh, we've got to score. Like, that just rolls out of bed and drops 20. Hell yeah! And then he goes out there and airballs a 3. I mean, nothing against Josh Reed, but boy,
everything.
Oh boy.
Against Josh Reed. What do you mean?
Those airball 3s were like
638.
Boy, those airball 3s were like, whoa, what am I seeing here? And then I saw him out at the bars in Clifton one time, and he was like a few inches taller than me, and I was like, okay. I mean, they say he's 6'7", 6'8" in the program. I guess I'm 6'4" then. Hey,
should have been a geologist.
If you want to see some bad takes, go watch the conference schedule reveal show for the basketball team before the 2024-2025 season. Because I'm pretty sure I said they were going to go 15-5. And I don't think Chad was like far off of that.
So like, yeah. Oh, dude, I mean, I had some bad takes too. I thought that Gabe Matson freshman year we were going to the tournament. I thought that team was nasty under John Brandon. And then
Keegan, somehow that wasn't worse than Emory Jones' dark horse.
That wasn't a take. You asked me a stupid question.
That was not a take. How was that not a take?
If Emory Jones plays to his ceiling, what will he be?
I remember that.
I read the questions. You can't get mad at me for asking the questions.
You're right.
If he put the stats up that he put up in that opening game that he had as a Bearcat, he would be the Heisman dark horse. There's 1,000,000%.
Yeah, it's almost like when he was playing at his ceiling, he was posting 400 all-purpose yards and multiple touchdowns a game.
They were also playing against a severely outmatched.
Do not disrespect the Colonels, Ryan. Come on.
Because then EKU, the very next game, if you remember, they gave Kentucky a game, and I was like, wait a minute. Then all of a
this Emory
sudden,
Jones
Cincinnati
guy.
goes out there.
Then they
and
beat Pitt.
Pitt. And I said, hold on now. Oh, the streets were talking in Pittsburgh that night. Bearcats back to the college football playoffs.
Keegan downloaded the updated roster for the Bearcats on NCAA Football 14 with Emory Jones as the quarterback, won the Heisman, and thought that he might actually be able to do it.
Yeah, it's like
It got
David after the
wild.
dentist. Is this real life? And yes, it was. It could have been.
All
my
right.
gosh.
If you had a walkout song like a WWE superstar, what would it be, and what would your finishing move be? Also, what are Brent's thoughts on Sami Zayn?
Never seen those two words put together in my life.
Sami Zayn sucks. It's fine.
Okay. Walkout.
What about your walkout song? If you were
Don't
a WWE
Stop Me
superstar?
Now by Queen. I just like that song. Finish
Really
me
gets the
move.
crowd going.
Finish me move. I don't know. The spear. Is that still a thing? I remember Goldberg did that. Not a wrestling guy here.
I would do Stranglehold by Ted Nugent as my walkout song.
Oh, I like that.
And then I have no idea about WWE. Whatever Rey Mysterio's move was, that's what I would do as my finishing move.
This, right?
619.
This thing?
619. That's John Cena.
619.
Oh, okay.
Brent, come on.
Ray Mysterio and John Cena are very
Very
I don't know.
different. I don't know if there's a more different duo.
I mean, I can think of a couple, but we're at very opposite ends of the spectrum with that comparison.
Not a wrestling guy here. Although I did see Ric Flair at a bar one time in Florida, and I did say that, and he turned around and said, "Woo."
Mine would be... Go ahead.
Yours would be what?
Were you about to say something? Yours?
No, I was going to go with Limp Bizkit Break Stuff. That's what I would come out to.
Oh,
I'm Take a Look Around, Limp Bizkit.
okay.
Limp Bizkit song, and then mine would probably have to be Throwing Someone Through a Fan or something like that.
Oh, I like it. No, your tag team partner, aka me, would come out with like a box fan, and then you just throw them through it, and then
you guys would touch tips and everyone would go crazy.
Hey, you said it, not me. You said it, not me. All right.
I can only imagine what those uniforms would look like.
There's a hole cut out, and then there's
What
we think it. Ryan says it.
What uniforms? Go ahead.
Oh man. All right. Everyone has a doppelganger roaming around. Each of you name your celebrity doppelganger and who is Chad's doppelganger since he is out. Chad is like the love child of Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. According to Grok,
that's good.
According to Grok, Brent is the love child of Zach Galifianakis and Luke Combs. I feel like there's got to be a better one than this for Brent.
Yeah, Brad Pitt. Next question. Bradley Cooper I've gotten as well. So I guess a love child of those two.
Yeah.
I've been told Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yes. Good pick.
As the werewolf?
Sure.
Yeah. Do you guys know about this Markiplier YouTuber?
Yeah.
I literally called that like so much. Like,
and he wears UC stuff on stream all the time. Like it looks dead on you.
Markiplier, like random people, like, hey, you look like Markiplier. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Oh, yeah, I've had random people come up to me and say I look like this Mexican rapper, and I like looked him up one time and I was like, holy shit, that is. And then, and then one time I was waiting tables, and these girls are like, you remind me of someone that one actor from I think I've told the story from The Hangover. What's his name? I was like, oh yeah, Bradley Cooper. I said, they're like, no,
He couldn't help
Alan.
himself.
Alan.
Chad.
Chad, let's go.
Keegan, who told you Taylor Lautner?
He
Everyone.
looks like Taylor
My
Lautner.
entire life. Everyone.
You let people lie to you like that?
Audrey said you
Yeah.
looked like Taylor Lautner when she went to the UC game. That's what she said. She said, you look like Taylor Lautner.
Damn. Stunting on Chad.
But also Barry.
You look
Barry
like the guy
Keegan.
from Home Alone.
Barry Keegan from Ryan. You kind of look like him as well.
Barry Keegan?
Yeah,
Who's that?
you know.
The dude from Peaky Blinders?
Was he in Peaky Blinders? No,
I don't-
the guy from Peaky Blinders and from the movie Saltburn.
I haven't seen Saltburn.
Don't watch it.
Neither
Have to do a Pacifico in California, huh?
Have to.
The best. That's my favorite beer.
It's so good.
Oh, man.
And
The only thing is you don't have it out of the bottle, though.
On tap is the best.
speaking of favorites, Chad, I love that shirt. That's a nice little
Ooh, okay.
back big sea paw.
The old sea paw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best sea paw in my eyes. Well, Chad, who's all of our doppelgangers? Lautner for sure. Aaron, you didn't say yours.
I feel like right now I have a CM Punk thing going on, and I don't know how to feel about that.
Burt Reynolds, is that his name? No, not Burt Reynolds. Well, maybe
Kurt
a little bit.
Reynolds. Jesus Christ, Brent.
Who does Chad look like?
Chad, did you see our famous move that Brent and I pulled? We got Keegan.
I was at dinner. So fortunately I missed it.
For the best, you would have lost your dinner.
Dude, I've been steering away from that kind of debauchery in this one.
Chad looks like he's on a ghost hunt.
He does.
You guys want to see the view?
Yeah.
Let's see the view.
This is great for the podcast listeners.
I'm one step out of my place.
Oh, there it is.
Not bad.
Where exactly are you?
San Diego.
Oh,
Mission,
gotta go
Mission
down-
Beach in San Diego.
Go to
Chad,
the beach.
you gotta
comber.
go to the beach bar.
The beachcomber.
You
Is it
too
still
can
there?
you too can
Yeah, beach
enjoy a
comber's still
spring
there.
break in San Diego if you buy a website.
I owned the beachcomber at one point. I tell you.
Chad,
that.
are you gonna go to the bar that you tell us about?
No, I tell you.
In Hermosa Beach?
Yeah.
We
Right
already
across the
stopped in
border.
Hermosa Beach.
I thought that was in San Diego where you like cross the border and then you get the cheap
Oh
Coronas.
no, yeah,
Oh, that was
that isn't
Tijuana. No, I'm not going to Tijuana. They wouldn't let me back,
Liz-
Ryan.
Liz doesn't want to go to Tijuana.
Liz, you want to go to Tijuana? She says she would.
Hell
You
yeah.
gotta go.
Chad, I
bet.
literally was just talking about Mission Beach as my spring break spot.
Something about a donkey. I'm steering clear.
Right
of
there,
Tijuana.
Brent. Mission Beach.
I love Mission Beach, man. Love Mission Beach.
It's what happens when you're when you have a media empire.
Yep. Oh yeah,
The world
PB
is
Shore
your
Club.
oyster.
I got kicked out of PB Shore Club for dancing on the tables one time. Place is legendary. The Beachcomber. Go there and ask about it.
Sling blade.
We have 2 questions left. Can we get through the mailbag?
Yes.
This one's funny. Over under 7.5 cigarettes per day for Chad.
Way over.
If you gave me 27.5 cigarettes per day for Chad, I'm taking the over.
No, it's under.
By
What
three.
is
A
it?
day.
He does
It's
2
like
packs.
18 a day, roughly.
Holy shit.
Okay.
It's like 1 an hour. I'm usually up about 18 hours.
We call
not
that
bad.
a pack a day, kids.
It's about a pack a day. Yeah. If I would stayed up 2 extra hours a day, I would have a pack a day.
Chad,
How
you
many
gotta get
ounces
some
of Dr.
these,
Pepper?
man. They'll save your life.
Little
Yeah,
Alp.
get the Tucker. Chad's a big Tucker Carlson guy. He'll get the Alps.
Definitely. Whatever
These are
he's
the best
advertising, I
options.
usually.
On-
That's where I got
on-
this Seapal shirt.
On
Tucker,
that note,
Tucker sent me there, and I got it.
On
Tucker.
that note, we're going to ask our last question and get the fuck out of here. Out of the four of you, who is Chad's favorite? You can't vote for yourself. Keegan, without question.
Brent.
Ryan Royer, 100%.
It's Ryan or
Oh.
Keegan, one of the two. Like
Oh,
probably
yeah.
Keegan, but like Ryan's in the mix.
Ryan's up there.
Hey,
It's
it's hard to beat Keegan. I'm surprised it's not Brent though.
No,
It's Dave.
It's Dave.
Brent, Ryan. It's not
It's,
Brent.
yeah,
Because for like 3 years, I was like, bro, can we get the word count down? Like a little.
boy.
And then every time he'd send me the next article would have more words.
He's passionate. He's a
These-
passionate
like,
man.
these articles
I love it
would
about him.
take me.
I literally had to tell him this one
9
time,
hours
Ryan.
to
I had to tell him that my dad was having his legs go to sleep on the shitter from trying to read Brent's articles. That really happened.
Boy, I tell you what, man, I would stay at my office and be in there until like 3 a.m. writing those articles and then drive home. Boy, those are the days.
I was like, bro, you like people only want 1,000 words, 1,200 words. Brent was like, bet 3,783 words would be on my desk the next day. And then he would be like, bro, I just don't know if I can write anymore. It's taking too long. Like it's too much. I'm like, yeah, because you're writing 4,000 words every time.
I think it worked out for all parties involved.
Now I'm here.
Now you have a new
That's
writer.
the mailbag. Get us out of here, Brent.
Well, for the record, my favorite is Ryan Royer.
That's also
yeah.
why Brent can't be my favorite. He loves Royer.
Well, I mean, Chad, come on, man.
Bros before bros.
We can't pick you. Like that's part of the whole thing, you know. It's like, oh, did you like Stacy
Bros
back in
before
5th
bros.
grade? No, I didn't
Right.
like Stacy. I liked Rebecca.
Right, we have to
and
report
really
it to
liked
the
Stacy.
HR rep if
Yeah.
we started getting too serious with the manager. It'd be
Yeah,
you
I would
know.
like to report it to Keegan Nicholson. Shouts to Keegan, great job today, man. Great article.
Thank
And
you.
excited for what more is to bring. Chad, you got any golden nuggets for anyone that has stayed around?
No,
for
I'm on
2
vacation.
hours and 7
I had an
minutes?
awesome chicken and waffles tonight. That was
Oh.
really, really good.
Shouts.
I could
Almost
use
made
some
it
of
out of
that.
this podcast without food talk. Almost. We were this close.
Did we really not have one mention of food? Oh no, Keegan.
No, at the
Keegan
beginning,
had- yeah, Bloomington.
In the
Bloomington.
hang-
I always look forward to Chad's weekend.
He'll have
Yeah,
plenty
Chad,
to talk about when he gets
how
back.
early?
He'll have so much to talk about when he gets back. Much
So-
like people don't like a bunch of words on Brent's articles, people don't like over 2 hours on a podcast.
We
All
should
right.
just start from the top now that we
Liz
have
said-
Chad.
Liz said Aaron's trying to get out of here.
Do you want to? Should we just start from the
Brent.
jump?
Right,
You
yeah.
say hi, Liz.
Bearcat Bounce
Hello,
Podcast.
Liz.
Hello, Liz. How are we?
I think that's Liz's first appearance on camera.
Wow,
Welcome.
Big time face reveal.
that's big time. Big
Guess
time.
it's official now,
It's
Liz.
official.
Oh, wow.
It's official.
What we are BCJ official.
We hard launched.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard launch.
We hard launched.
Hard launch in
You
Michigan.
know,
Just like
Chad's
Royer
got-
and Brent.
Brent, Chad's got a long drive back from San Diego. So,
He
you
does.
know, when he gets back to Cincinnati, you know where he should take his car?
Danco
Danco
Transition
Auto Care,
Mention
baby.
Mission
10%
Beach.
off your first fixing, $10 off your next oil change.
Hey, you know what? Danco
Look at
Transmission
Ryan
Auto
Royer.
Care. Danco Joe will hook you up. Mention the Beachcomber. Mention Mission Beach. Mention Keegan Nicholson. He'll get hooked up.
Or Taylor Lautner.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Or this guy who actually you look a lot alike. Markiplier.
Markiplier, yeah. Whatever the
Markiplier.
hell he is.
Mention him. Shouts. But yeah, okay. I guess I'll wrap it up because Aaron left screen. Mention Aaron already. But yeah, you know what? Shouts to Keegan Nixon. Shouts to Chad Brendel. Shouts
We
to
don't need
Ryan
him.
Royer. Shouts to everyone involved, and shouts to Jared Calhoun. How about that? Shouts to Jared Calhoun. But a lot of things coming up. Transfer portal is going to be firing up in a week, so stay locked into BCJ because there's going to be some inklings left and right. Spring practice still going on, baseball still going on, so BCJ's got you covered on all of it. But for the guys, for the crew, for the squad, for Aaron Smith, for Chad Brendel, for Keegan Nicholson, and for the GOAT, Ryan Royer. I am Brent Young, yet again another fantastic BBP presented by Bearcat
Close
Journal.
that door so she couldn't hear me.
See ya.